Yeah, obviously it's that time of year. Everybody's excited for the season, and obviously for us, getting an opportunity to go play Wisconsin at Wisconsin Camp Randall. One of the if you grow up in the where I did in Chicago, everybody knows about Wisconsin's football tradition, very rich and proud tradition of great football for years and years and decades, and then obviously Camp Randall and the experience there, and they love their football up there. They love their Wisconsin Badgers. It'll be a fun, hostile, raucous, loud, great environment for anyone who can make the trip. I know our kids are looking forward to it. I know everybody, our fans are looking forward to it. So we always talk about, you play these types of openers and you find out a lot about your team. That's, the positive. You're walking into, obviously a situation where they're a prohibitive favorite at home and Big Ten team. But we like to go play because it tells you a lot about who you are, the things if you do some things good, that's probably something you want to hold your hat on. If you don't do things good, those are things that maybe you don't want to hold your hat on, or maybe it's just things you got to work on and get better at, And then for kids, every time they want to go up against the best, and you play a Power 4 team with big, physical, fast Big Ten players, it'll be a great rather shoot. And then for us, because we're so inexperienced, we have so few players that are going to walk on that field that really have ever played college football before. It's just the way it is, and so they're going to be learning under fire. It's not going to be but again, you'll see some kids will love it and can't wait to be out there. Other kids will kind of shy away from the moment, and that's they got to go do it. You got to go live it and experience it. Obviously, playing Coach Fickell team, we know him from his days at Ohio State and what he did there. But then obviously Cincinnati and what he built there, one of the nation's best teams, which no one could believe that Cincinnati could become that, and they did it. And then, he's a defensive guy. He's tough-minded. He's an ST guy. Like, I'd like to think our team mirrors what they do. That we're going to play fast and physical and aggressive on defense, and we're going to play great on special teams. And I know they've talked a lot about, they're going to run the ball, commitment to running the ball. Well, that's who he is. Like, that's who he's always been. So that's not like when I play Coach Fickell's team, I think they're going to be ornery on defense and really sound and disciplined and fly around and really know what they're doing, which is how they played a year ago. And then special teams, he runs some of the special teams himself, and a good friend of mine runs the rest of their special teams, so they're going to be lights out on ST, and then I always think they're going to be physical on offense and run the ball, throw the ball, and do things well. So great challenge for us. Rather shoot Thursday night, prime time. It's like I said, what could be better than that opportunity for Miami football?
Any questions?
Coach, entering in a new year, what's this like? What's this first week of preparation like? Well, I mean, it's got to be exciting.
Nothing. Everybody says college football has changed and nothing's like it used to be, and that's an accurate statement. Like, for us particularly, because our roster turned over so much, you're talking about 39 freshmen and transfers, and just like, this is their first Miami game week. This was their first Miami fall camp. This was like, everything is new to these guys, and we have, so it's just different. And it just, what can you do? What can't you do? How do you structure practice? What helps these guys learn the best? What helps these guys prepare the best? We have a completely different roster than we had a year ago. Like, there's things you're doing a year ago because you had guys that have been in your program for 5 years, and it's like, where now it's like, well, we can't just, like, because we're very creature of habits as coaches. We like to do the same things over and over and over, year after year, and it's like, well, we don't have those guys, so we have to. So every day we spend time discussing, me, Coach Breeken, and Coach Welsh in particular, like, hey, what do these guys need? How do we get them prepared? How is it, and sometimes you got to push the envelope a little bit. Sometimes you got to back off on the envelope a little bit. But even how we're structuring practice is different because it's a different level of experience. My brother's a long-time, very successful high school coach. To me, there's just more teaching, more like a high school team. Like, there's just constant teaching because it's not because they're not smart. It's just they don't know because they don't have the experience. Like, even there's things you cover in every day that if you have experience for a team, they've lived it and they understand there's certain things you don't have to cover because they know, even if they make a mistake, they already know what the mistake is. We're still at the point in time, we make mistakes in practice, and you're coaching kids and they don't, like, it's new information for them. You know what I mean? There's a different look, a different front. We're just getting out of camp mode where you go against your defense, and now you're getting in Cincinnati. And we're going to deal with that every week because you play different defense and different offense. And then things come up in film, and our kids just never seen it before. Where before it's like, hey, remember we played so-and-so, and they did, yeah, same stuff. Like, no, these kids don't have that experience. So makes it fun. I said, if you like to coach, 2025 is a great time to be a coach. And I know a lot of people are saying the opposite, like, there's parts of change that whenever there's change, there's parts of change that you probably don't want to deal with. But as far as purely getting on the field and coaching kids and getting in meetings and coaching kids and going to walkthrough and coaching kids, like, if you like to coach, like, we're coaching as hard and as long and as detailed and back to really what are the fundamentals here? What is important here? Not just, hey, your kids understand it because they've been in your program for so long.
It's a pretty similar start to the season last year, going on the road against a Big Ten team. What are the differences in that preparation compared to Northwestern last year?
Yeah, just like I just kind of said, we're just the way we structure practice, just trying to teach our kids and, how much are they ready for? You know what I mean? Like, from a game plan, how much can they handle? And it's not one player, it's across the board, offensively and defensively. Like, what can Eli Blakey handle versus some other player? Well, Eli can handle a lot of stuff. He's played a lot of football for us. So I won't, but you got guys right next to him. So, like, how much can you do? So, and again, that's what you practice, and you try to install what you think they can handle. But then there's times you're going to probably, for us, you got to say, well, we're not ready for that yet. We'll be ready for that eventually this year, probably sooner than later. But like week one, we got to probably tone it down and be a little simpler and, not push the envelope as much because we want to play good, sound football and play the game the right way. So it's every day us discussing, like, was that too much? Like, yeah, that's a great idea in theory, but if you don't have 11 guys on each side of the ball that are ready for that idea, then it's not a great idea. It's not going to go well when you go to play a Big Ten opponent.
And then kind of piggybacking off that, what's the message to the new players, so transfers and freshmen, both getting ready to play their first game as a Red Hawk and in a stadium like Wisconsin?
Yeah, I wish there was a way I could get them to understand what they're getting into, and there's no way. I tell them, talk to the older guys that have played. If you can't concentrate enough to do your job consistently in practice, you have no chance Thursday night, 9 o'clock, Camp Randall, because there's going to be way more distractions. There's going to be way more anxiety. There's going to be way more excitement, way more nervousness, way more want to do it. So, but like, it's just, everything's going to be multiplied them by 10. And so, like, you struggle mentally to focus and, so just trying to harp on the details of fundamentals every second of every play, OD and special teams, just doing it right and giving yourself a chance, because you're going to get there and the bright light's going to go on. It's going to be your first game, and anybody who's had a first college game knows what that experience is like. But if you haven't had that first college game, you think it's like high school. It ain't like high school. And everybody after that is way different. Like, so we just got to prepare them the best we can. Then we got to go play and go play aggressively and go have the right mindset, and then live with the results, the mistakes, the good, the bad, and keep learning. That's why I keep saying, if this team will stay together and just keep competing, we're going to have a good football team. We have good raw materials. We have good kids. We're going to lack experience early, and the only way you get experience is by going to play. There's no practice method. Hey, they've never played, but you got them. So we're going to try to prepare them best we can, but they got to go. Those bright lights are going to go on. They got to go play. So
you've had spring and fall to evaluate, what you have now. How do you feel about the team's ability to have a balanced offense this year?
Yeah, no, I think we have a great chance to have a balanced offense. I think we should be able to run the ball and throw the ball efficiently. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. We're there at times. There's times that we run the ball really well. There's times we throw the ball really well. But we're the timing in the passing game, not a new quarterback. You got a new quarterback. You got all new wideouts. You got all new tight ends. Like, it's a whole. So that'll grow and grow and grow and grow. And last year we had experienced group, but Brett was coming off an injury. It was like week 5, second half is when we felt like, okay, we got some timing. Like this feels, and everybody felt it. The players felt it, and it kind of carried the rest of the year. So we just, again, you just got to keep plowing through. We work timing every day, and how important timing is, how important we do everything full speed so we get the right timing. But just with all new guys, that's going to be, and then run game, same thing. There's time in the run game. We have more experience at running back, so they're helping a young O-line with pressing holes the right way and doing things the right way. But it'll come. But we should be able to. We have enough talent to have a good run attack. We have enough talent to have a good pass attack. Obviously, having a quarterback that can move around usually adds to your passing attack because you got to be a little more height to stop the run when you have an athletic quarterback.
You've talked before about how you like to know the transfers that come in, and more about them the better. Obviously, you knew quite a bit about Daquan. Is there anything that has surprised you since he came into the program?
Yeah, the thing I didn't know, I knew his style of play and his ability level, for sure. From high school to college, we recruited him in high school. We know he's from ML King and all the success he had there, and then obviously being in our league and not only defending, but you see everybody all the time. What I didn't know is just how much he loves the game and how diligent a student he is. Like, he's played a lot of football. Like, he comes with his notebook every day, and he writes everything down. Like, and he's here all the time. Like I was talking about, Gabbert was so committed to being better. Like, Daquan's the same way. Like, he's in this building all the time, and he wants to watch tape, and he wants to, like, it's not like, hey, I played a lot of football, I've had a lot of success, and I know how to do it. Like, he has tons of questions. He's during practice, not during practice. He watches tapes. He has more questions. So just his diligence to be a professional is like, I didn't know that. I hadn't been around the kid. I knew he was a good kid and everything, but not everybody has that passion and love and crave getting better. Like I always said, Brett. That was always Brett. Like no one wanted he might be our starter, but no one wanted to get better today than Brett Gabbert. And Daquan's the same way. He wants to get better every day. Like I said, doesn't matter. We go on team meetings, he's got a notebook. If I say something he hasn't heard before, he's writing it down. And then a lot of times he'll come back and ask you, like, hey, what were you trying to get here? And then obviously with all the football stuff, if you're ever into me, he's taking stuff down, and then he's asking questions and like, hey, making sure he has his I's dotted and T's crossed. So that's been awesome because you don't know that when you haven't worked with a kid.
Your defense and special teams has been a really good foundation for the team over the last several years. Keeps in a lot of games. How do you feel? There's a few, especially on defense, there's a few more question marks, but how do you feel about their ability to keep you in there this year? Yeah. That's kind of how we play. We definitely play complementary football. We believe in all three phases. We believe every phase is equally important. Our defense has been lights out for a long time here, and like you said, kept us in a lot of games and put us in position to win. And then, our offense complements our defense because, we don't turn the ball over. I'm not saying this team, but in the past, you don't turn the ball over, and we're able to run and throw, and we possess the ball some. We don't typically have a ton of 3 and outs where our defense is out there all the time. So we definitely play the game to win. We're not too concerned on either side of the ball about stats, or like if we're comfortable playing low-scoring games, we're comfortable playing high-scoring games. We're comfortable, that if we're going to try to beat you on ST. Wisconsin will be a very, we play Big Ten opponents, hard to win the ST battles, but you got to try. Like that's if we're gonna go there and win, you got to try to win the ST battle. But we feel like. And like opponents that we're going to win the ST battle, so you got one of the 3 phases. Like we always talk, we're counting on. And then you only got to win the offense or defense. But our defense typically has done a good job of keeping points down and defend the score, and then, being stingy in the red zone, all that. So, but again, we got a good nucleus back compared to offense. We got some guys that have played some football, and you got Trick and Nasir up front, which gives you a great foundation. You've got Hondru and McWood in the middle, which gives you a great find. Then you got Eli and Cy in the back. So you got some guys, you got some glue in each group. So now they're surrounded by a bunch of inexperienced guys, but at least you have guys. Well, on offense, sometimes you look out there and there's an inexperienced guy standing next to an inexperienced guy standing next to an inexperienced guy, and like, who's guiding? You know what I mean? So it's a little bit
little bit different, but you feel great. You got that strength up the middle. You got 2 D linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties that really know how to play the game and know our defense and can now help guide and also share their experience with what it's going to be like at Canton. Those kids have played in big games and big moments where if the offense guys are sitting around talking, it's like, hey, where's Kenny Tracy? You know, so it's just different. But yeah, we feel good about those kids and their leadership. And like, we've always had great leadership on our team and on defense. But like Coach Bregan said, since like January, like those 6 are taking leadership to a whole different level. Because again, they're embracing that we need it more because there's more new guys. You know what I mean? Versus like last year, we had great leadership on defense, but our backups had been like, our backups already knew how to do stuff the right way. So yeah, you're a great leader, but where now those guys look around like, these are all these new guys. Like, we actually have more, leadership is more important now than ever in college football because of roster transition, you know.